right, welcome back everyone for another edition of Talk 122. I am your superintendent, Dr. Terrell Yarbrough, and this is our HR edition. I am happy to have one of our superstars in HR. I'm going to have you say your name and how long you've been in the district, so we can start there.
Well, my name is Rachel Freeman. I am the Human Resources Coordinator. I actually just got my 10th year in at the district.
All right, milestone.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, and so 10 years. So you've seen a few things,
Some
through
things.
HR and things like that. And one of where I want to start with you is that you have a very unique role where you see a lot of our new staff. Like you are like the first person that they see most of the time, right?
Yeah.
They're going through their paperwork and things like that in the process. So can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, so I help with employee onboarding. So when someone's hired, they've met with the administrator, they've been told about the job, they've accepted, they're like, I want this job. Then I send them their hiring packet. I walk them through the process. So they're filling out things, they're learning new things just about the employment side. So if they have questions about pay, if they have questions about their benefits, if they have questions about a form that they're filling out, I'm their person that's basically leading them up to the point of when they start employment.
Yep. So when they see you, they know it's getting real.
It's real. Yeah. You're getting this job.
You're getting this job, obviously barring, going through board and things like that, but it's getting real when they see you. That's cool. And so can you talk a little bit about, I know you guys had an HR department have a new initiative this year where you're meeting now with new staff, like as a group. It's an orientation meeting that I actually attended this morning, which I thought was pretty cool. So can you kind of summarize that a little bit?
Yeah, so we're having monthly orientation meetings. So I'll backtrack a little bit. In the summertime, we have a larger hiring group that gets hired for back to school. So in August, we have larger like induction orientations with big groups. But as we hire people in the school year, we'll have monthly meetings at the beginning of each month. And so we have refreshments for those folks. We also are going to go through different things, information, more detailed and more personal information about how benefits work, how to log into different systems, how their pay works, just all of those different puzzle pieces that we're trying to fit together so that they have a clear picture of what their employment needs are in the district.
That's awesome. Well, sounds like you got a lot on your plate. So
it's full. It's a full plate. I'm eating good.
I love it. But you also enjoy it, right?
I love it.
I see you, at work, and we just so happen to work in the same building, and you always are upbeat and positive and things like that. Because I think sometimes HR gets like this bad rap of, it's always like negative.
Yeah.
But I always see you, and you're positive no matter what the situation is, and so that is cool. And so if there's someone out there that may see this podcast that want to do what you do, like they want to have a career in HR, can you tell them a little bit about like your path and your journey?
Oh, sure. So I attended Rock Valley and NIU, and I got my degree in HR. So I'm still doing what I got my degree in.
Which is rare. That's awesome.
Yeah, I know.
Especially nowadays, right?
I'm getting all these that use out of that tuition money. But yeah, I would say that it took a while for me to build that thick skin in HR because you're dealing with a lot of different things, from people who are upset about their paycheck, people are going through things like workers' comp or FMLA, dealing with like very serious health issues. And so it's being able to work hard, right? You have to like get that degree, get that knowledge, but then there's also building those people skills. So for someone that's new to the field, I would say like kind of try to get that confidence in building relationships with people. Be prepared for people not to like you because people really don't tend to like HR. Sometimes we're delivering bad news or things that people don't want to hear.
I like when I get a paycheck though.
Yeah, but also like be that friendly face that they know that they can come to.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, that's good. So let's switch gears a little bit. Thank you for that information. So to have a little fun. So for people that obviously some people are just now meeting you, but when it comes to staff, they've seen you, they worked through the onboarding process and things like that. So maybe something that you want to share that they don't know about you. Something fun, something, This is Rachel. This is me.
Well, I really like body combat. So
Body
like
combat.
yeah, so if I could, I would try to do boxing or like
Really?
some kind of
Now
physical
I'm learning
combat.
something. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think that would be I
Okay.
really enjoy that. Yeah.
Okay. So you can take somebody down then.
I don't know, but I mean I feel like, I could kind of get an uppercut in there maybe. I don't
Okay.
know.
All right. No, that is cool. And then I also learned this morning as well that you started your master's program.
Yeah, today.
Congratulations.
So yeah, I'm excited to go home and log into my courses and get started.
That's awesome. Well, anything else you want to share with the community that may see this?
I would say that for our Harlem community, the HR department is here for you. Like our biggest goal is to serve, and we're not here just to push administration goals. We're also here to assist our staff. That's really important to us to support people.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Terrell.
All right. All right, welcome back, everyone, for part 2 of our HR edition. I'm with a special guest here who, when I met you this morning briefly, when we talked a little bit about, names and who we are and roles and things like that, I was excited when I heard, that your husband graduated from Harlem. Is that correct?
You did.
And then there was a story that you had told when you introduced yourself. And so can we first start with your name, your role in the district, and then we can get into that story because I love that.
I'm Dana Russell. I've been here almost 3 full weeks, and I'm the secretary to the principal at Parker Center.
Okay, so 3 full weeks and the secretary to the principal at Parker Center. Well, that's awesome. Well, welcome. So now, if you're willing to share your story about your husband, because I thought that was awesome.
My husband, Matthew, class of
Shout out to
79.
Matthew.
Yeah, he'll be so happy. He did something his brothers never did. His 2 brothers also are Harlem alums.
Okay.
He is on the Wall of Fame in the Sports Hall
Okay.
for class of 77, 78 school year for football.
All right.
They were conference champions, I believe.
Okay. That's
So
awesome.
he's number 67.
Okay.
And we had Spirit Week last week.
Did.
And on Friday, he had me wear his jersey for Spirit Week.
Wow.
So a vintage Harlem jersey.
A vintage Harlem jersey. But I'm gonna go back. You said his number. What is his number?
67.
6'7" for the young kids out there. I couldn't resist. I had to say it. So that's cool. And so you wore it. But you graduated from which school?
East High.
So for you to wear that Harlem jersey, how did that? You're like, oh, I'm an East grad, but I'm wearing a Harlem jersey.
Oh, I took some ribbon for that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, thank you for being open to sharing that story. And so you've been here for 3 full weeks, 3.5 weeks. And so your experience with obviously coming into being the principal secretary, can you explain that a little bit? Like what's your role and how is it going for you?
It's going pretty good. There's a lot to learn. I mean, I came out of a manufacturing background, so
Okay.
office work is office work, but there's a lot to learn with the school system and just different ways of doing things. And I'm filling some big shoes. Kathy Ward was very well known and very well liked, and so I'm trying to live up to her reputation over there and
Gotcha.
catching on to everything that she did and learning all the names in the building.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for saying that about Kathy, because she did do a good job. And you coming in and you're trying to follow in those footsteps. I'm sure you're gonna catch on fairly quickly.
Doing my best.
You're doing your best. And so when you see now switching from your manufacturing role, to obviously to a school, what are the differences for you that's just noticeable? Like you're like, oh man, I didn't know that was gonna be so different.
Well, engineers are a lot like 5-year-olds, but there's a lot more confidentiality that you have to be aware of.
Okay.
You really have to pay attention to who's picking up the children. Are they on the list? I mean, you really have to pay attention to what you're doing and who you're dealing with.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more attention to detail.
Right.
And that's extremely important when you're dealing with children.
And thank you for sharing that, because that is definitely something that I want the public to know too. That when you send your kids to Harlem, like we're going to protect them, just like they're our own. And before they go with anyone, you're making sure that they're on the list and they're accounted for. Yep, that is awesome to hear. And so you shared a story about your husband and the jersey and 6'7" and all those things. What initially brought you to Harlem? Like, you wanted to be here and you wanted to work in the position that you're currently in?
I have a very good friend that's a teacher over there.
Okay.
And she kind of directed me that way. I wasn't enjoying what I was doing.
Okay.
And she said, I think you'll really enjoy this. And she's right.
Okay.
Change of venue was just what I needed. And I mean, I love the little people, and my principal and the staff over there are very welcoming, and they make going to work every day pleasant, and you want to go.
So now, who's your friend, if you don't mind?
Kelly Blank.
Kelly Blank. All right. Well, shout out to Kelly Blank for bringing an awesome individual to Harlem School District 122. And so thank you for agreeing to be on. I don't know if you were voluntold to be on or not, but that's awesome. I love it. I love it. And so is there anything else that you would like to share with the Harlem community? Something about you that you want them to know about, particularly the parents that may come in the Parker Center and see you.
We have a really good staff over there, and we try very hard to make everybody feel like they're part of a family. We treat your kids like we would treat our own. And, we want the parents to feel at home there too. Like when they're dropping their children off, the children aren't just one of a class. We want everybody to feel comfortable and at home and know that the children are well taken care of. They're having fun and they're learning things.
That is awesome, and they're great kids.
They are.
I was there for a safety drill recently, and when we went on our lockdown safety drill, you couldn't even tell the kids were in there. They were so quiet and so well behaved. And then as soon as the drill was over, there they were, great kids, learning, energetic. So, well, thank you for being on, and good luck with the rest of the school year. And if you need anything, let us know.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. All right, welcome back, everyone, for our final guest for our HR edition. She is a guest of the program, or a familiar face of the program. She's been on before. But before we get into some questions, can you reintroduce yourself to the community?
I would be happy to. My name is Shelley Wagner. I'm the Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources here at the Harlem School District. Okay. And I am so happy and excited you invited me back on your show.
Awesome. Absolutely. Well, we got to have the Assistant Sup for HR back on, especially when we're focusing on the HR edition, right? And so one of the questions that I want to ask you, and maybe the audience, may or may not be thinking, right? You have such an important role where you have to balance the HR side of the school district, right? But you also have a part where you're looking out for, individuals, right? The human capital, the human piece of everything. How do you juggle both of those with here's the what's in the policies and we have to follow HR, but also the human piece to things?
I think in order to balance them, you have to approach everything with an underlying understanding of the human beings that are involved in anything that you do. Right. And so I know for our department, our priority is people. Yes. It's supporting people, it's helping people, assisting people. And we do our very best every day to put that at the forefront of everything that we do. At the same time, we are beholden to local, state, and federal laws. Yeah. We must abide by school board policy. And ultimately, we do everything that we do with those things in mind, but putting people first. Right. And even in the most trying of times, that's still the focus.
Yeah.
when we meet with people.
Yeah. And I've seen that with not only you, but with members of your team as well, is that you guys do a very good job of that. And so I really wanted to get that out there to the community who don't normally see the behind the scenes, things and how you work with people, right? Because we want to support people. And so thank you for that. And so the next question is really kind of along the lines of what I asked Rachel earlier was, how do you, in your role, go about breaking down that stigma of HR, ooh, bad, you don't want to go and talk to anyone in HR. How do you, kind of break that down a little bit?
I think we try to get out there. This year, we've got a couple new initiatives this year that we've put into place.
Tell us more about that.
So you talked about the orientation meetings that are taking place. We had our first one today. And those are more like a family style service that we're going to offer to our new hires that aren't able to participate at the very beginning of the year. And I thought today was a great success. We had several individuals in attendance. We were able to go over those important policies and expectations that we have in the district. But at the same time, we were able to follow that up with our more family style situations in our different table groups, where each part of HR, so we have benefits, we have wellness, we have, attendance, like how are you going to get into all of your computer systems, like Rachel was talking a little bit about. So we have all of those broken down into sections so that we can give folks almost one-on-one attention for each one of those components of HR. So we can go in depth with them. They can ask their questions. We get to know each other, which I think is the biggest benefit of this new system we have of orienting people monthly. And it was a lot of fun this morning.
I was there for a little bit and it was good.
The feedback from the HR staff was great. The feedback from our participants was great. It was so fun to learn about Dana and her husband.
Absolutely.
And we had a lot of stories like that. So it was super fun. And I can't even recall the original question, but
you're doing great.
But I'm so excited about what happened this morning. And then another initiative that we have is we're going into the buildings now this year. We're going to each building. Rachel and I are. We're kind of talking just a little bit about HR. We're introducing ourselves to the staff during one of their staff meetings. And we're talking about the benefits of hosting student teachers and students that are in their clinical rotations. And we're also letting those folks in the buildings know that they're really important. They're educators, and they're leading the way, and they're leading by example. And we're just really proud of all of the work that they do every day.
And that hosting student teachers is so important, especially for individuals who may not have attended Harlem, but want to come to Harlem and get to know Harlem. And so for them to come in and meet our teachers and meet our students, that's great. So I appreciate you guys doing that.
Yeah, we're letting them know how easy it is and what a positive impact you can make on the next generation of teachers.
Awesome. So now, we got to switch gears a little bit.
Sure.
All right. For you, can you tell the audience something about Dr. Wagner that's like just funny or whatever that you want to say and share that they would never know unless you were on this podcast right now?
They would never know that I am a brand new grandparent. Yes, a grandparent. Yes, my son and his soon-to-be wife.
Okay. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. They live in Chicago, and they just adopted a puppy. And so I have a brand new little puppy in my family that I'm super excited about. My whole family are just really big animal lovers. And so I wouldn't typically share that with a lot of people. So I'm a huge animal lover.
Now, whoever watches this podcast is going to know that about you when they meet you. So that's cool.
We could talk animals all day.
and I do know that about you. And so the final question for you, at least around this, is that if someone out there wants to, and I asked this to Rachel as well, want to follow in your footsteps and want to be, an assistant super human resources, can you talk a little bit about your path as well?
Surely. So when I first started out, I actually had switched from psychology to teaching.
Okay.
And so that's how I started in special education.
Mhm.
And then I also became an ESL teacher.
Mhm.
And after a few years of doing that, I went to school to get my administrative degree to become an administrator. And I started that career here at Harlem.
Yeah.
And I think for somebody who's interested in HR in particular, in a school district, I think it's incredibly important to have that educational background
Okay.
or to have spent a lot of time within education to be able to understand the nuance of the field. It's much different than a private industry or corporate
Mhm.
settings. And I've discovered that over the last 4 years as I've gotten my SHRM certification. That's a
Okay.
special human resources certification.
Yeah.
And in talking to other HR people that are in another setting and not education,
Mhm.
I think it's really important for somebody who's pursuing HR in a school district
Yeah.
to spend a lot of time in education or to come directly from the ranks of the educators in the system.
Gotcha. Well, thank you for sharing that. And, if most people have watched this podcast, and when I say it's the final question, sometimes I lie. So here's one more that just came to me that I think is really, I want to ask you is that, so in your years in Harlem, how many years have you been in Harlem now?
I believe it's my 13th.
13th year. Okay.
Yes.
So a little over a decade. And
Yeah.
that's not bad. So Rachel is 10 years Harlem. So okay. So one of your favorite moments in Harlem.
Oh, wow.
The first one that just came to your mind as you were just thinking.
Okay, so the first one that came to my mind.
First one that came to your mind.
The first one.
Is it embarrassing, first of all?
It is.
About me? Is it embarrassing about me?
No.
Okay, you can
No.
go ahead. Go ahead.
I have an embarrassing moment. I could share that too. And that was with you. Yeah, but I'm going to share that one first because it's fun.
Okay.
Okay, so
So I shouldn't have said anything.
the
but okay.
first day of student attendance at Harlem High School,
Mhm.
I was the student support services coordinator.
Yeah.
It was my first day with kids coming in.
Mhm.
And I don't know if you remember this, but I was out doing bus duty in the morning. We were welcoming the kids in.
Okay.
And I was walking down the sidewalk and my heel got stuck in a crack or something.
Okay.
And I twisted my,
I do remember.
yes,
this,
yeah, I twisted my ankle or something pretty good.
Yeah.
And you ended up having to take
I
me
had to take you. Yep.
to the doctors.
Yeah.
And then I had to ride one of those scooters for several weeks as a brand new administrator
Yeah.
in the Harlem district. So that was the most embarrassing one.
All right.
But the best one, or like the first one that.
So that wasn't really about me. That was about you. So I'm
Yeah.
good with that. Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's
Thank you.
true.
Thank
That's
you.
true. I was very embarrassed for myself.
I'm glad you're okay, but thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. The first one that popped in my head when you said that was we do Employee of the Quarter
Yeah.
presentations.
That's
So
right.
every quarter we collect nominations from buildings
Mhm.
and we go around to the different buildings and we give them wonderful gifts
Mhm.
and we tell them how much we really appreciate them and the work that they do. And that's one of the things that popped into my mind when you said that.
Yeah.
Was someone's expression on their face
Mhm.
when they didn't expect it.
Yeah.
And it was just great and wonderful.
Mhm.
And the reaction was wonderful.
Yeah.
Especially sometimes in HR, when you walk into buildings, it's not sometimes a chillier reception.
Yeah.
So when you walk up to somebody and say, I'm here for you, with,
Right.
the initial response sometimes is a little tepid, right?
Yeah.
But that was really great. I will always remember that, one of those first ones.
And I'm glad that you mentioned that, and I'm glad that you and your department, do that, and that's great. That's awesome. I was a recipient of one. I don't know if I was supposed to get it or not, but it was a free car wash, so I was happy with that.
Yes,
So thank you, and thank you for being on. Is there anything else you would like to share with the audience before you go?
Oh gosh, if you're ever interested in a career at Harlem School District, please give us a call. We have opportunities for you. Even if we don't have them right at the moment, we can put you on the right path to getting a career here at Harlem. We'd love to have you and talk to you.
Spoken like a true recruiter. Well, thank you for being on again.
Thank you for having me.
All right, everyone. Well, thank you for tuning in to another edition of Talk 122 with your superintendent, Dr. Terrell Yarbrough. And always remember, I am Harlem, you are Harlem, we are Harlem. Thank you, everyone.